another daily roundup of Russian Telegram chatter. Read the disclaimer below, please. Your like and subscribe is appreciated, it helps with increasing the reach of the channel. On Telegram today, Russia's social policy spending will be cut by 10% in 2025, while defense spending will grow by 27%. Military spending will increase to 13.2 trillion rubles, which will amount to 6.2% of GDP, Bloomberg reports. Defense and security are planned to receive 40% of the budget, which exceeds the combined spending on education, healthcare, social security, and economic development. About 30% of the budget is secret spending, aimed at classified or unspecified purposes. This will include enrichment for Putin and his clans. And the people are mute. We deserve what is coming, a multi-decade financial tragedy that we have sleepwalked into, accepting the trashing of our nation by a clan of war criminals. Serbian Trade Minister Tomislav Momirovic said that 2 eggs are enough to feed a person for the whole day, promoting the state program, Best Price. He noted that under the program, 2 eggs will cost 22 dinars, about 20 rubles. However, after this statement, the minister was criticized. Serbian MP Jelena Milosevic accused him of humiliating Serbs, noting that Momirovic himself lives in luxury. After the start of the SVO in Ukraine, the Russian labor market lost 2 million workers aged 19 to 40, Headhunter CEO Dmitry Sergenkov told Kommersant. The groups that are in the greatest demand on the labor market are shrinking especially quickly. These are people aged 19 to 40, whose number has already decreased by 2 million over the same period, he said. In total, over the past 2 years, the labor force in Russia has decreased by another 1 million people who have been sent to their slaughter or are still active in Putin's invasion of our neighbor, and the remaining working population now stands at 76.3 million, Sergenkov added. He attributed the continuing low labor productivity in the Russian economy to the factors that aggravate the situation. In almost all sectors, it is 2 times lower than in comparable economies of developed countries, the Headhunter CEO noted. The situation with personnel in Russia will not improve in the future, warned Dmitry Sergenkov. If the labor market is currently short of about 2 million young specialists, then by 2030 this figure will most likely double, and this is even without any significant economic growth. Banks are running out of funds for family mortgages, and according to the Ministry of Finance, the program limits will be exhausted by November 2024. Large banks such as ESPA, RSHB, Uralsib and Pokta Bank have already stopped accepting applications or tightened the conditions. VTB, Gazprombank and Sovcombank have increased the down payment to 50.1%. Experts note that additional funds may not be allocated for the program, since the budget for 2024 has already been drawn up and there are no additional resources in it. It is all allocated for Putin's aggression in Ukraine. Russia to liquidate local self-government system in villages. There is no money left to support local mafia-styled authorities. By 2028, all rural and urban settlements must be merged with districts into municipal or city districts, and their bodies liquidated. According to Deputy Pavel Krasheninnikov, the State Duma will adopt such a law on local government reform in late November, early December of this year. Residents of the Voronezh region were offered to independently repair shelters in the basements of houses. The Voronezh region authorities do not have the resources to equip shelters in the basements of all 4,000 apartment buildings in the region, so local residents must resolve the issue themselves, said Governor Alexander Gusev. There is no money available for such nonsense when we are fighting for Putin's regime. Has this content been useful to you? Would you like to see more research and translation content from Beefeater Fella? If you do, and you want to stay up to date with my work, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel now. It takes just a few seconds and it's free. This is really important. Your support and recommendations can make a big difference to the channel. A dangerous poison, cadmium, was found in sunflower seeds sold in St. Petersburg stores. The cadmium content in products of the brands, Babkini Semechki, 365 dne, Otiataman, Krasny Arsena, Smaki, Moyasina, and Molodezhny, exceeded the permissible limits. Cadmium is a heavy metal that is highly toxic and can accumulate in the body. It takes 10 to 30 years to eliminate cadmium. It can cause hypertension, anemia, and contribute to the development of cancer. Prices for red fish in Russia may rise significantly due to the lowest salmon catch in the last 20 years. It seems even the wild fish hate Russians now. By the end of the year, the expected production volume will be only 250 to 260,000 tons, which is half of last year's figures. The State Duma has passed a law allowing defendants to go to the SVO and be released from criminal punishment. Now, not only convicted persons, but also defendants at the trial stage can sign a contract with the Ministry of Defense. The investigation will be suspended for such defendants. Criminal cases can be dismissed if they receive a state award or are dismissed from military service due to age, health, end of mobilization, or the abolition of martial law. Fearing a spanking from Israel and the US, BRICS hopeful, Iran, refused to support Russia in the SVO in Ukraine. According to President Pezeshkian, Iran will no longer supply weapons to Russia and is ready to sit down at the negotiating table with the Americans and Europeans on the Ukrainian conflict. Less than a week ago, Putin signed a document on a comprehensive strategic partnership with Iran amid improving relations between the countries. Brazil BRICS member Brazil also has issues with Putin's leadership. Brazilian President Lula da Silva says he does not support Russia's war with Ukraine. He called for implementation of a peace plan proposed by his country and China that would see a halt to fighting along the front lines. About 13 million people in Russia are simultaneously paying off at least 3 consumer loans, complained First Deputy Minister of Labor Batalina. Apple has removed 98 VPN apps from the Russian App Store, according to a study by the Great Fire Project, which analyzes the state of censored websites. The study was conducted using the App Store Monitor platform, which tracks the availability of apps in different countries. Great Fire found that Apple, quietly, removed 60 VPN apps from the Russian App Store from July to September 2024. At the same time, Roskomnadzor announced on July 4 that it had demanded that only 25 apps be blocked. It is unknown whether the agency has sent similar requests since then. In total, 98 apps for bypassing blocking are unavailable in the Russian App Store, including the popular NordVPN, ExpressVPN, ProtonVPN, and others. For the study, experts tested 360 apps. In Moscow, scammers have become more active, offering rejuvenating procedures and miracle drugs. Under the pretext of medical services, victims are lured to a free session and forced to sign a contract, which turns out to be an application for a loan from an MFO. The target of such schemes is most often pensioners, notes Prime. Insulting officials on the internet will result in a 2-year prison sentence. The offender will face a fine of up to 1 million rubles, up to 480 hours of community service, or up to 2 years in prison. The chat is unverified. I do not endorse the views expressed. Be wary of disinformation and DYOR. I monitor and translate Vatnik channels as a general mood check, so you don't have to.